Hello everyone, and once again welcome to WsCubeTech. Myself Umar Taskir. Guys, in this particular video I'm going to talk about H1 tags. We are going to discuss what are the H1 tags, how they actually look, and what are the important things that we have to consider while creating or while writing H1 tags for our SEO efforts, that is search engine optimization effort. So let's start with the basic definition that what is H1 tag. Then guys, H1 tag is a HTML tag like other HTML tag, head tag, body tag and every other tag. H1 tag is again a HTML tag that indicates the heading on the website. So you have to write some syntax. You have to see the syntax. The syntax of H1 tag is something like this. Let me tell you how you have to code it. Basically, you have to write H1, right? And then you have to put some text over here. This can be like heading. And now you have to close this thing, H1, right? So this is how you are going to write the H1 tag, and they are basically going to show up on your web page. So when you write, you have two things over here. You are going to write the H1 tag like this, and they are going to appear on the website or the web page like this, right? It's not only about the H1 tag. There are other tags also like H1, H2, H3, H4, H5 and H6. So it all starts from H1 and goes to H6. So there are six heading tags basically. H1 is not the only heading tag which you can use. You can use these types of six heading tags which actually have different size, right? So the H1 tag is largest in size, and when we move to H2, H3, H4 and H5, H6, they basically keeps on decreasing. The size keeps on decreasing. So this is what H1 tags look like on the web pages. This is how you are going to write the syntax of the H1 tag. This is how it will show up on your website or on your web page. Now what they actually do, see, when you write H1 tag, suppose you are writing, this is your web page and you have written like SEO tip. So this is your H1 tag which is largest in the size. So you have written some content about SEO over here. Now you want to mention other things, so you do have to put them into H2 tag, right? H2 tag. So it basically gives you a structure. The H1 tags or the heading tags basically gives the structure to your website. So when you provide the proper structure of your web page, it actually helps crawlers to understand the structure of your web page and to understand what elements are there on your web page and to understand what type of content you have on your web. So it becomes important for you to use these heading tags on your web page, right? So now let's talk something more about H1 tags. H1 tags are most visually notable content on the web page. So from visitors point of view, if we talk about visitors point of view, H1 tags are very important, very visually notable. You cannot ignore them because it is the first visual thing that that a user is going to see in the form of the content on your web page. So you cannot ignore this thing. And you should use only one H1. This is a very common question that many people ask, that can we use multiple H1 tags, right? Multiple H1 tags on a web page. Then it is advisable that you should use only one H1 tag. If you want to put more headings, you can go with H2, H3 and so on, right? But it is not recommended to use more than one H1 tag on your web page, right? Because see, your credibility, your weightage of H1 tags get distributed. If you are using two H1 tags, let me explain you. One H1 tag is over here and the other one is over here. So you are writing some heading over here, you are writing some heading over here. The crawler gets to know very easily that, okay, this is the primary heading, right? Primary heading or the H1, this is the most important part of this this heading part. But still, your weightage, the weightage of the content that you have put over here, the weightage of the structure that you are trying to give, or the weightage of the structure that you are trying to explain to crawler, that basically dilutes, right? That basically dilutes in these two things, or we can say that it gets distributed between these two things. So we should not use more than one H1 tag. We should avoid using more than one H1 tag. It is advisable that you should restrict yourself to single H1 tag on a single web page. So I'm saying single H1 tag, that is basically for a single web. It is not like that as if I'm recommending you to use a single H1 on the complete website. It is advisable to use single H1 tag on a single web page, not a complete website. H1 tag should be from 20 to 70 characters. If we talk about the character limit, you should use them between 20 to 70 characters. Use a focused long tail keyword in your H1. Answer users intent with your H1. Now let me tell you what does it mean when I say users intent. Users intent is, you can write something like, if user is searching for Google ads tip and he lands on your web page, Now in H1 you can write Google top 10 Google ads tip and tricks. So this is basically related to the user's intent, that user was, so when user basically landed on your web page, they landed from any keyword, right? The keyword was Google ads tip. So now the intent of the keyword and the intent of your H1 tag is quite similar, because the user was looking for Google ad tips, and the content that is present in your H1 heading is basically top 10 Google ads tips and tricks. So always try to put some user intent in your H1 tag. So that's it for this particular video. See you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.